Hey guys, I'm back with a brand new video. I decided I'm going to do my PS3 collection. Some people have asked to see all my games, and my 360 collection isn't that sizable. It's a collection where unfortunately I haven't kept many games. I traded out the ones that I didn't think I was going to play again. I've tried to avoid that with my PS3. I haven't traded in a single game yet for this, and I have just over 30 titles, so I just thought I'd show you guys what I got. This is in no particular order either, so start first with Ratchet & Clank Tools of Destruction. This is one of the first PS3 titles I got. I had never played a Ratchet & Clank game on the PS2. I had just heard that they were always pretty good. And I think I got this for like $10 to $15. This is a pretty early PlayStation title. No trophies, unfortunately. But I have not finished it. I have no idea how far I've gotten in it either. It's been a while. But it's pretty fun. Nice little action platformer with kind of hybrid with a third-person shooter. This is this was created by Insomniac, the guys who made the Resistance games. So Insomniac's definitely a studio that's known for having very creative weaponry. So this is a fun game though, and I believe it is a trilogy on the PS3. So eventually I'll probably finish this and pick up the other games because I have enjoyed what I put into it. BioShock for the PS3. I had played BioShock on the 360 because that's where it came out first. And then it was actually a friend's copy, and like most people, I really love it. And I realized I never owned a copy, and I decided that the PS3 cover art I like better, and it was pretty cheap. So yeah, if you haven't played this yet, boy, are you kind of missing out. This is from the mind of Ken Levine and the rest of the guys at 2K Boston, although they're called Irrational Games now. But this is a really fun first-person shooter. Gosh, I don't know how anyone would have avoided spoilers by now, but if you haven't played this, if you like shooters and you like story and style, definitely play this. If not, and you don't own it, go buy it. It's really cheap now and really fun. Heavy Rain. This seems to have divided a lot of people on whether this is a game, whether it's even a good game at that, or it's just a glorified interactive movie. I really enjoyed it. Some people thought there were a lot of plot holes. It was inconsistent. I enjoyed it. Now the facial animations look a little bit dated, but the story's still fun. This is one of the only games where I've played it, I've actually had like sweaty palms because it feels like an interactive movie that you have direct control over. It gets very tense in some moments, and it's very interesting. This is a game where, for lack of a better word, it's really just you have quick time events that you're interacting with, but it does play out like a movie. And I think it's really interesting, and I'm looking forward to Beyond Two Souls, the next game, coming from these guys at Quantic Dream, because this was an interesting game, and it's also pretty cheap now, so I think it'd be worth you guys' time if you haven't tried it out yet. Enslaved: Odyssey to the West. I've actually done a review for this game on my channel. You guys can go check that out if you want to hear more about it. This is also available on 360, in case anyone was wondering, but this is a really interesting game. It's based on an old Chinese legend, kind of reworked. This is developed by Ninja Theory, the guys who did Heavenly Sword and are working on the Devil May Cry reboot. This camera does not want to focus. This is a new camera. I'm figuring it out. I'll make sure these videos will get a little bit better as they go, hopefully. But this is an interesting game, kind of a third-person platforming action-adventure game. I really loved it. Story and the characters were fun and interesting. The ending, however, is god-awful. And I know maybe that kind of ruins it for some of you guys, but it's really cheap now, and I think the journey is more important than the destination in the case of this game. It's probably like $10, $15 now. So for that price, I think it's worth it. For the 99% of the game that was great. L.A. Noire. This was also another game that I think kind of divided a lot of people. Rockstar published this, so I think a lot of people were expecting a Grand Theft Auto in a 40s 50s era Vegas, which wasn't the case at all. This game definitely has some weak points. I have a review for this too, so if you guys want to hear more in-depth stuff, check that out. But I did enjoy my time with it. The facial, this sets the bar for facial animation in games. Still, I think this is what you wish Heavy Rain would look like. It's really fun to try to deduce whether someone's lying to you or they're telling the truth and putting together your evidence. It's a really interesting, fun part of the game. And this is also very, very cheap now. So yeah, check this out if you guys are into the era of the 40s, 50s Las Vegas and a crime-solving kind of thing. MAG. Ooh, this was the game. MAG stands for Massive Action Game. This was the one that was known for, I believe, 256 online player first-person shooter. I bought this at Target. It was on clearance for $15. But I think I had bought it a little too late. The community was, at least what I had tried to play, the few times I tried to play, didn't really seem to be active. What was there was competent, kind of seemed a little bit generic, but I don't know. I mean, if you can find a community still, this would probably be pretty fun, and it's also dirt cheap now. Mortal Kombat, aka Mortal Kombat 9. Wow. I had not been a big fan of most Mortal Kombat games prior to this, actually, but this one is fantastic. This is a fantastic fighter. Get this on the PS3 if you can. It's also on 360, but PS3 includes an extra character in Kratos, and the Game of the Year edition now includes all the DLC characters too, which is also pretty cheap too. This is a great fighter, a good long story mode, all kinds of modes and unlockables, nice gory fatalities, really fun. Me and my friends pull this out every once in a while, do tag team battles when we're just hanging out, and we still really have a lot of fun with it. And it's a pretty accessible fighter. Combos and stuff aren't that hard to pull off, so this is good for experts and beginners alike, I think. Resistance: Fall of Man. This is the first in the Resistance series. It was a PlayStation 3 launch title. What to say about the Resistance series? I feel like it's a series that's always fallen just short of being kind of that blockbuster AAA titles. It's set in an alternate timeline of World War II and goes on through to the 50s. And I think even 60s and 70s. I'm not sure. But it's really interesting. The concept is really cool. This one is a game, since it was a launch title, so I believe that was 2006. Yes. It's aged in some aspects not so great. This was before, the whole Call of Duty revolution happened to consoles, so some controls are a little graphics aren't fantastic, but it's a fun co-op game, so you can play it with a buddy. I don't know if multiplayer servers are even still. I don't think they are. When I bought this, when I got my PS3, which was in 2009, I couldn't connect to a game, so I think the servers for this might be gone. But as a co-op game, it would probably be pretty fun. I almost finished it, but other games came along, and how it is, it kind of just got shoved under the bed, or shoved under the rug. Bed. What am I talking about? Oh man, but it's an interesting game, and this, I know for a fact now, is really dirt cheap. So, if you can find this, if you like shooters, you like aliens, alternate history, check it out. Resistance 2. Definitely not as good as the first. The first game was kind of going against the trend in that you could hold more than 2 weapons. For some reason, this went to only 2 weapons, so whatever guns showed up in the environment, it telegraphed what you were going to fight next. Graphics were better. Co-op options were huge in this one. This one had a single-player campaign, an 8-player co-op campaign, and if you can still find friends, to do that with, it would probably still be a blast, but I never finished this one either. Only got about halfway through the single-player campaign and just kind of lost interest in it. It wasn't that great. Resistance 3, definitely the best of the trilogy. However, huge spoilers if you don't play the other two titles. If you are set on playing a Resistance game, I do recommend at least trying to play through all three in order, or at least looking up a Wikipedia entry, because the stories do kind of tend to lead into the next one. This one's definitely the best. Also, the newest title, good controls, good graphics, weapons, story, characters, all of it. This has it all, and this is kind of a criminally unrecognized, underrated title. I believe that was 2011. I think so. Yes, I was looking for the date on the back of 2011. Really great game. Has 2-player split-screen co-op, and it also has online co-op, so you can definitely have fun with it with a friend. So definitely check this one out. If you're going to check any of them out, read their Wikipedia entries on 1 and 2, and then check this one out. This one's the best of the bunch.